right. Well, good morning, everyone. It is 4:23 in the morning here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson County. This is for western Williamson County. And you've probably, if you're awake right now, you probably were woken up by the lightning thunder outside. And it is definitely doing that. So looking at the polygon here, you see the yellow box. Let me turn off the red box for a second. That's not very helpful at the moment. Let me turn that off. And that's for lightning stuff. We'll go back to that in just a second. But over here in western Williamson County, you can see the yellow polygon here. This is for a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 4:45 this morning. And a severe thunderstorm is located near Dixon, moving south at 45 miles an hour. And so the biggest thing we got to watch out for here that the Weather Service is looking for is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail. So we got the velocity product here on radar. And with velocities, we're looking at winds. And the issue here is that there's really not a great angle on this one for radar. So right now we're using the radar out of Hopkinsville. The Weather Service radar in Old Hickory is under down for some maintenance this week, so we're not able to use it. It's not a great read from Hopkinsville. It's also not a great read at all from TB&A over in Nolensville. I'll show that to you here. That's so what you're looking at now is TB&A in Nolensville, and so it's kind of hard to see where these 60-mile-an-hour winds are this morning, but they are over there near Dixon, moving south if they're going to be anywhere. So that's what we're looking for right now in this storm. So pretty strong winds, and the reason we think it's there is because it's had a history of doing it. So we're back over to the Hopkinsville radar here. This storm has a history of producing wind damage, and so the thing is here, there are a lot of boundaries out there, and by that I mean there's a lot of wind energy going different directions, and here's your traditional radar, and so that's enhancing these storms in a lot of ways. Okay, so there's a lot of energy for lightning, and it's really, really noisy out there. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson County. It does not include any of Davidson County right now. This is only for western Williamson County, and that includes down toward Leapers Fork, back over to Fairview, and areas kind of along 840 around Pinewood Road, and back there around the western sides of Williamson County. It also includes down kind of toward the Greenbrier community, and Craigfield and Garrison Springs and those areas. So that's who's included right now. Over toward Franklin and Nolensville, you're not included in the warning. However, it's pretty noisy out there with these just random loud lightning strikes that pop out of the storm over to the east. So the heaviest weather is definitely over here to the west, and right now coming through Dixon County, coming back through Humphreys County, going into Hickman County and western sides of Williamson. So that's where the heaviest weather is. Let me put this kind of in motion, and you can see how it's moving. It, at first glance, it looks like it's going to hit Nashville right on, and then it's just kind of giving a glancing blow down to the southwest, and not really affecting Nashville at the moment. So we're going to keep an eye on this one and see what comes of it over the next little bit. As David said over on Twitter, the tornado chance is very, very low. However, it's not zero. And the reason we say that is because with all of these boundaries running around out there, it's not impossible for the storms to spin something up with these little boundaries that are out there. If one of these boundaries gets up under one of these storms, it can kind of spin some things up. We've seen it happen. And but that chance is very, very low. But we're going to be watching for it. So is the Weather Service. They've told us that they are. So we'll see what happens. Let me look at your questions here. See if there's anything I can help with here. Asking about Spring Hill. Yeah, I mean, I would kind of keep an eye on this in Spring Hill. Let me mention this while I'm looking through the questions. The biggest threat with this right now looks to be 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail is what they're watching. Is it a hook echo on that storm over in Dixon? We haven't seen really a hook echo. That shape that you're seeing there is actually not characteristic of a what we would consider a hook echo and a supercell. That's really that's just kind of more the way the storm looks right now. That's not really a hook echo. That's, believe it or not, it's actually a lot larger than what we would typically look for. Hook echoes are very localized, and that's not necessarily what we're looking at there. Problems with BNA. We don't really. I don't really know a lot about airport operations, so I know that weather affects them and that they have, they do ground stops for lightning and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know specifically about BNA. Last I checked, we are expecting a couple of rounds today, and this would be considered round 1. All right, so let's kind of back out and look. You look back up to the northwest. We're looking at a Hopkinsville's radar here, so you can kind of look back to the northwest. Looks like we're going to be dealing with rain and storms for a while, just here at first glance. So it could be a kind of a noisy morning. And I'm turning on a cloud-to-cloud lightning. This is lightning strikes up within the cloud, and holy smokes! I mean, these things are very, very electrical, and so. There is just a lot of energy up in there. So that explains all the noise. So, I mean, there's lightning strikes hitting all the way out toward Page High School. I mean, it's barely raining if it is at all out there. So lightning strikes all the way out to Page High School over toward Nolensville and the Clovercroft area, and then all the way over into far southeastern Davidson County over just south of Percy Priest Lake. Again, it's barely raining over there, but these storms, the main storm here is just tossing lightning way out there through the anvil at the top of the storm. So anyway, let's talk about this warning. Let's get back to why we're here. And the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for western Williamson County. And so if you're waking up and you're wondering what all this is about, Fairview down to the south toward the Pinewood Road exit on 840, those are areas that are inside this severe thunderstorm warning. So the warning is in effect for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail. And we can go over and look at the velocity product, and we can kind of tell that there are some higher enhanced velocities here, but it's a little hard to tell with radar. The radar doesn't have just a fantastic read on this storm. And so it's a little hard to tell exactly where the strongest winds are. But if I had to guess and pin them down, I would say it'd be right around downtown Dixon, south of Highway 70, between there and and I-40. So I would say the strongest winds would be somewhere between Highway 70 and Interstate 40. But that includes Fairview. Okay, so right near Fairview, just south of I-40, I would say could be included in those strongest winds. So I definitely see some enhanced winds there in southern Dixon County that could easily slide over into Williamson. So that's why they're included. You hear hail outside in Burns near 840. Yeah, that's not out of the question. The Weather Service is expecting nickel-size hail with this storm. Let's see here. Rainfall totals, I don't know what the totals are going to be there in White Bluff. Heavy rain's definitely going to be hanging around for just a little bit. I did see a flood advisory come out. In fact, yes, there actually is an aerial flood advisory for Dixon, Houston, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Stewart. All right, so basically this whole area where the heaviest rain is now under a flood advisory. That was at 424. So if you do get involved in these storms, looking at you, Fairview over there, y'all could definitely be having some minor flooding issues as these storms come through. Hermitage, you're looking pretty good over here in Hermitage. Y'all got some light rain, but there is a lot of thunder and lightning out there. But you're not really affected by this right now. This is mostly a west of I-65 issue. If you do go back to sleep, grab a Wake Me Up app. Make sure you have an app there that is able to wake you up if the storms get out of hand and they need to issue a warning for Davidson County or the Hermitage area. Have you an app? We like Stormwatch Plus, but just grab your app that you would prefer and that works for you, and make sure you have that ready to go before you go back to sleep. Hail chances in North Bellevue. I mean, I would say there are hail chances in North Bellevue. And that is because we have a lot more storms to go, and there have already been reports of hail in these storms. Up in Stewart County, there was some hail, some penny-sized hail, and radar is indicating hail in a few different places in these storms. So if one happens to slide over to North Bellevue, you definitely would have that possibility. All right. Let's go back to velocities just a second, show you what's going on. I'll tell you this. Let me put this in motion, and those of you that know how to read velocities will be able to see this, but you can just tell by this velocity loop that there are so many boundaries running around out here this morning. So one just came into northern Davidson County, another one was moving east into Davidson County, another one's moving south through Dixon County, and there's another one even coming in south of Dover up in Stewart County, moving back to the south. I mean, they're all over the place. And so it's very easy for the storms to be enhanced with all of these boundaries running around. Okay, so we could see localized enhancement of these storms as they push off to the south. If one of these boundaries gets up underneath them and adds additional energy, kind of fuel to the fire, so to speak, as these storms move through. All right, so let's go back to our warning here. Let's talk about if you're just waking up and seeing what's going on, especially in Fairview. I mean, you guys are just getting pelted with lightning right there on the interstate exit up there on I-40. Tons of lightning up there right now. Maybe even some small hail up there in Fairview. Some half-inch size hail is possible up there right now. According to radar, it could be a little bit larger. The warning calls for the possibility of Nichols. So this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 4:45. So about another 7-8 minutes, something like that on it. And this storm is pushing off to the southeast, and will be affecting Fairview with heavy rain and possibly some strong winds. A little hard to tell on radar exactly where that is, but the strongest winds, again, if I had to guess where the strongest winds are, I'd say they're right along I-40 right now, and that would include Fairview. Any damage reports in Dixon? I have not seen any. However, I have seen a hail report out of Dixon. Somebody said they were having some hail, but I didn't get a size on that. Catching up on Twitter here with David. Make sure we're saying the same things. Yep, he points out that these are straight line winds. These are not tornado winds, and that's what this warning is for. This is not a tornado warning. These are for strong straight line severe thunderstorm winds. Let's see what else here. Yeah. Okay, good deal. All right, so we're just going to keep an eye on this for a little bit, see what happens. It looks like Fairview down toward like Garrison Springs, Greenbrier. That's the Greenbrier in Williamson County, not Robertson County. Although looks a little rainy up there too. But Leapers Fork, you guys are included in this warning and will experience the heaviest rain, the hail, possibly. And some strong winds. So let's go back to velocities here and just check and see how that's going. Again, if I had to say, I would say that the strongest winds have pushed south of 40 now and are in southern Dixon County, northern Hickman County, and western Williamson County. That would be my guess. I'm going to hop over off screen here and look at TBNA and just see. TBNA's got a horrible read on this right now. It's just because of the angle to the radar. So, but I tell you what it does have. It does show one of these boundaries. Okay, so here's another example of a boundary coming in. You can clearly see it coming in northern Davidson County. There's another one here that coming into northwestern Davidson County, and you can just kind of see how these winds are moving. And these winds are what they can enhance these storms very easily. So if one of these boundaries gets up under, right now there's not any strong weather up there, but if one of these boundaries gets up under one of these storms, it can really kind of get things going. Let's go back over to Hopkinsville radar, and again we're over on Hopkinsville's radar because Nashville's radar is undergoing maintenance this week, so we're having to use Hopkinsville's, which is, we're very blessed to have it very close, so it's not, could be a lot worse. I'm looking at a radar that's really far away. That's a possibility, but we still have Hopkinsville's radar, which is very neat. You're going to see what the hail product shows here on radar, and could be some small hail over there in Fairview. Radar is indicating up there around half an inch, so that would be like a penny-sized hail, something like that. Back to the west, looks like radar seems to think the biggest hail is going to be back over in the western side of this warning. So moving over into Hickman County here in a little bit, but it's back over Humphreys County right now. That's where the largest hail radar thinks is over there. And but definitely some hail possible over here in western Williamson County as the core of that storm pushes into Fairview. So don't be surprised if you see some hail, hear some hail. It'd be great, if you're safe and able to do so. If you want to, flip on the Eve lights outside and see what size that hail is, if it's safe to do that for you. Grab a picture or just let us know what size that hail is and send that in. Tweet using hashtag #TSpotter, and we would love to have that report. All right, Weather Service has issued a significant weather advisory for Dixon and western Williamson counties. If I had to guess, it looks like possibly they're replacing the severe thunderstorm warning with a significant weather advisory. So that would be cool if that was happening. The warning expires here in about 4 minutes, and so it looks like they may be replacing the severe thunderstorm warning when it expires with a significant weather advisory, which is right there. So you see the white box just popped up. So it looks like they're continuing kind of giving advisories on these storms with the white box instead of the yellow. Which would mean it would be sub-severe. So we'll see if they reissue it. It's kind of, it's one of these that's pretty close. Could have some large hail, could have some strong winds in it. So they're going to be watching that closely. So significant weather advisory in effect now for western Williamson County till 5:30. And the warning expires here at 4:45, which is the yellow box. ETAs for the winds through Williamson County. Well, I'll tell you this, it's a little tough to find exactly where the strongest winds are. I think they're coming into Fairview right now. I would say probably right in here, coming into Fairview. But radar, we're shooting at 3,400 feet. Okay, so it's a little hard to tell exactly what's going on at ground level. But they're only reading winds at about 35 miles an hour. At 3,500 feet, okay, so maybe 40 miles an hour there. So it's if that's accurate, if that's what's happening at ground level, again, that's at 3,600 feet. If that's what's happening at ground level, I'd say they're moving at about 30 miles an hour. So that could be, pushing southeast through Leaper's Fork. So that would probably take half an hour or so, 20 minutes. For it to get that far. Where can we find what the Weather Service is saying? That's a chat room that we have access to, where we send in reports to the Weather Service. It's invaluable to us. So we communicate to you what the Weather Service is saying, and it's really cool. So they love getting reports from us and letting them know what's going on at ground level. So we send in reports to them, and they share information with us, media partners, emergency managers, etc., through the chat. So it's great to be able to have that tool. A lot of lightning still out there. We're looking at the Hopkinsville radar here. A lot of lightning still out in western Williamson County. And I'll turn it on again. This is the cloud-to-cloud lightning. This is lightning happening up in the clouds, and it's just, I mean, it covers the map. It's there's just a ton of lightning, a lot of electrical energy out there. All right, so the severe thunderstorm warning expires here in a minute or so, and it looks like they're issuing another warning, but that's going to be up to the northwest of us, so that will not include us. Yeah, that's correct. So that just popped up on our screen. That's going to be for up here northwest of us for Houston and Humphreys counties and etc. So that one will not include us. So what we're going to see is if this storm right here that affects western Williamson County drops below severe limits, and the warning should go away in the next minute or less, and it just did. So the warning for Williamson County has expired. And has not been reissued. So we do have a significant weather advisory. I'll go ahead and read that for you so you kind of know what they're thinking with this. Significant weather advisory, which is not a severe thunderstorm warning. That's below severe thunderstorm criteria. Significant weather advisory issued until, let's see, that is going to be, what did we say? That's till 5:30. Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm 7 miles southwest of Burns, or 7 miles south of Dixon, moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. Half-inch hail and wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour will be possible with the storm. And it includes the areas inside this polygon here. So Fairview, maybe the western sides of Franklin, if you consider, over toward Old Hillsborough Road, out that way, the western sides of Franklin, down to Spring Hill, over toward Garrison Springs, Leapers Fork, Boston, Smarden, Pinewood Road exit, everybody kind of west of I-65 there in southwestern Williamson County. So that's what's going on. A lot of lightning out there. We'll keep watching it. So we're going to jump off of here, and then stay tuned for a forecast for today as far as the possibility of a second round later this afternoon. There's a lot dependent on that. We'll just have to see, or there's a lot that has to happen for that to take place. The atmosphere would need to recharge for this afternoon. So we're going to take a look at that and send a forecast out for today, but stay tuned for that. For right now, those storms west of I-65 and a lot of lightning in Davidson and Williamson counties, but so far sub-severe.